What's up guys? Bullseye Boy back here with another video. This is going to be something totally different. Obviously it's Monday, so it's like no Raw review or SmackDown video. It's basically I'm going to be starting not so much a talk show or anything like that, just like basically I'm going to be starting a show that's called WWE Off the Mic, and it's just going to be every Monday and Fridays. I'm just going to be talking about all the latest news in WWE, Wrestlemania plans, all that type of stuff. And my first episode, so episode 1, is now. It's going to be right now. So I'm just going to basically talk about the rumours. If I think, we're talking about the rumours, if I think they should happen or not. And there's, to start off, there's been, like a lot of, basically the Undertaker at WrestleMania. There's been a lot of talk about who he should have as basically an opponent, and according to a lot of WWE websites, or just not even that, just wrestling, websites in general, the big feeling and rumor at the minute is that WWE is going to go with Braun Strowman versus the Undertaker at WrestleMania 32, which obviously I think is totally wrong. I just think there's so many different ways to go, and yes, John Cena would have been the opponent for the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and if The Rock could have wrestled, it would have been The Rock as the second option behind John Cena. But obviously The Rock's not, probably not going to wrestle, especially with the appearance he made on Raw, the way it was set up. I don't envision The Rock wrestling at WrestleMania at all, because rumours are, but I mean, you can pretty much see it's going in that direction anyway, and especially with what he said on Raw, I think The Rock's surprise or whatever appearance at WrestleMania 32 is going to be him being in Roman Reigns' corner for when Roman Reigns tries and will win the WWE title back off Triple H. So I think that's what he's going to do, be in Roman Reigns' corner basically at WrestleMania. But Braun Strowman versus The Undertaker it's totally the wrong decision, because if they go with it, I think the two big basically the two directions it looks like they're going to go with is either going to be Braun Strowman versus The Undertaker or Kevin Owens versus The Undertaker. I would love to see Kevin Owens versus The Undertaker, but I do think it's a bit early for Kevin Owens. But if that means having it ahead of Braun Strowman versus The Undertaker, I'm totally fine with that, because I just, everyone, who's a WWE fan and watches Raw and all that, no one's actually ever seen Braun Strowman in a match, in a one-on-one match, and there's been even a few moments where what he's done in the ring has looked really awkward, or it's just come off really bad. I just think, as potentially, it's been rumoured The Undertaker's last ever WrestleMania, I think he's going to try and face John Cena at WrestleMania next year. But it would have been perfect for The Undertaker to retire after this WrestleMania. And there's a lot of rumours about it could be versus Kevin Owens. They could go with Undertaker versus, I mean, why not? Why not have Undertaker versus a Daniel Bryan, or even Undertaker versus AJ Styles? Because if you think of it that way, it's one of those where no one's ever thought of that match, Undertaker AJ Styles or Undertaker Daniel Bryan. But with AJ Styles, it could be so easy to do, in terms of you have basically AJ Styles come out and just say that The Undertaker's got an amazing record at WrestleMania, but he's never faced the phenomenal one, the best, that type of thing. Or even with Daniel Bryan making a return and says he's come back to WWE for one reason, that's to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Obviously it's been done before, but that was to Brock Lesnar, and that no one else you'd think would beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Just going in the direction of Braun Strowman, I think, would be totally wrong. I just can't see how the match would be. Obviously everyone watching will be into the match because it's The Undertaker, but it would be a huge disappointment in my opinion. Kevin Owens Undertaker would be great, although like I said, I think it could be a bit early. I just think it's still, it's still a much better match. And at this point, Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens at this point in their careers, like, who's more ready to have a match, Also, rumours are as well, and I think this is a definite possibility, a definite, of what will happen, is basically the night before WrestleMania, the NXT Takeover Dallas show. The main event for the NXT show has been announced now, and it's Finn Balor defending the NXT title against Samoa Joe again. Great match. It's going to be amazing. NXT is going to be amazing. But I think whoever loses that match will be put on the main roster the following Raw of WrestleMania, so the following night. Whoever loses, so if Finn Balor retains, Samoa Joe will go onto the main roster. If Samoa Joe takes the title, I think they could put Finn Balor on the main roster on the Monday after WrestleMania. And I think both guys, if not at least one of them, has to be on the WWE main roster by like midway through 2016. Preferably, I mean, I want to see Finn Balor more than anyone, obviously, but I think if they could have Finn Balor on the roster definitely before SummerSlam, that would be great. So I just think, in terms of the WrestleMania plans, obviously, it's looking that there was rumours about Brock Lesnar either facing Bray Wyatt or Braun Strowman, but that's looking like it's going in the Bray Wyatt direction, which would be so much better, because Brock Lesnar he's great in the ring, but he's great for so many other reasons than wrestling. And I think a match between him and Braun Strowman wouldn't come off as well as a match between The Undertaker and Braun Strowman. So I think having Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt is the best thing to do, because Bray Wyatt's the leader of the Wyatt family. And that's just the better way to go about it. Another thing that's happened or is happening is Nakamura, who obviously the WWE has signed from New Japan Wrestling, is starting to train at the WWE's Performance Center, which is great, because obviously he's going to be down on NXT soon, which would be just incredible to watch, incredible to see. And also the Bullet Club. Apparently they might make the Bullet Club the Balor Club, so have Finn Balor basically join up with the Bullet Club and form what would be called the Balor Club. So that'd be interesting. I would love to see Finn Balor come up on the main roster by himself, but if that happens, it happens, because the Ultimate rivalry I would love in 2016. There's a few people on YouTube who I watch all their videos who have mentioned they would like this, but I just think it's a common theme between WWE fans, and that is, I think it would be incredible to have AJ Styles, once the Bullet Club comes up to WWE, have AJ Styles obviously as the leader of the Bullet Club, which it truly is, and have them go after at this point or at that point Roman Reigns, who is WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and then obviously 3 against 1, Roman gets help from Dean Ambrose, and then the return of Seth Rollins, and basically you go with a Bullet Club versus Shield rivalry. I just think it would outdo some of the best stable versus stable contests they've had in WWE in years. I just think that could be so great. And I mean, I could see a way of them going with potentially having the Shield as the absolute dominant force in WWE by having Roman Reigns as your potential WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Dean Ambrose as your Intercontinental Champion, and then Seth Rollins come back and win the US title. So they've all got one. They've all got one of the big championships. That would be incredible for the Shield to have all the WWE titles except the tag team ones, and that would. There's been obviously stables who've been dominant in the past, but that would just cement, 3 guys having the 3 biggest titles would just be insane. Also, another thing that's been talked about within WWE is at Fastlane, Dean Ambrose potentially turning heel. I don't think it'll happen. And I think, again, it's a totally wrong thing to do. He's so over right now with the fans. And why would you turn Dean Ambrose heel when obviously him turning heel would be helping Triple H and obviously going against Roman Reigns? So why, with Fastlane being the pay-per-view before the Roman Reigns versus Triple H main event that I think will happen at WrestleMania, why would you turn Dean Ambrose heel and have him get into a rivalry with Roman Reigns, who's already got the thing with the Authority going? Makes no sense at all, and I don't see it happening whatsoever. So yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I mean, if anyone should turn heel, it could be Roman Reigns, which I think would, because it's really hard to explain, just the fact that, well, it's not hard to explain, but just the fact that on like a SmackDown or Raw, he seems to have a lot of crowd support, but then WWE it's just with their absolute shitty booking of Roman Reigns, they think getting Roman Reigns over with the crowd is just, it's going to happen at the click of your fingers. It's not that simple. This is what as well annoys me about it. Everyone says he's awful on the mic. I'm not going to sit here and go he's amazing, because he's obviously not. He needs a lot of work. His in-ring work has got tremendously better. His mic work still needs a lot of improving. But it factors in that WWE's booking and the way WWE have him promote, basically talking his promos, it's at least 50%, basically half, it's WWE's fault as well. It's just because they have him play this, they're having him play the Daniel Bryan type role, and Daniel Bryan is the ultimate underdog. The little guy who's going through hell to achieve everything. Roman Reigns is not an underdog. He's an absolute spearing machine of a beast. It's that simple. He's not going to get the pity of the crowd that a Daniel Bryan, a Dean Ambrose would, because he's not that type of guy. And you can't make him come across in a promo like that. So when you see Roman Reigns talking, and it does a lot of the time come off, stiff, and because it's not him, it's WWE's writing. So this is where a lot of fans, they need to be more intelligent about what they're saying. And I just think turning him heel would allow Roman Reigns to go into who he is and just be the guy who just kicks ass and takes names, basically. And then later on in a couple of years, you can turn him back face when he's improved and he's more himself, and then maybe the crowd will be on his side. Because if they do it right, the only guy who will get booed and not be cheered for against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania is Triple H, which is the right thing to do, obviously. Anyone else, whether it's Bray Wyatt who was champion, Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns will not have the fan support. And obviously, if no one's heard of this, the big plans that were changed at the Royal Rumble mid-match, the reason, for anyone who doesn't know, the reason why the WWE had Vince McMahon and the League of Nations come out like a quarter into the Royal Rumble and take out Roman Reigns and basically have him go to the back was because they wanted Roman Reigns backstage to talk about the ending of the Royal Rumble match, because they wanted to change what was going to happen at the end. The plan all along was for Triple H to win, but for Triple H and Roman Reigns to be the last two. But WWE obviously knew that Roman Reigns was going to get booed against Triple H, which happened anyway. And so basically then they obviously took Roman Reigns to the back and said that they were going to have him basically eliminated by Triple H, but not last. So they were going to have Dean Ambrose be last with Triple H, so that Triple H was getting booed. Because they changed the plans when Roman Reigns entered the arena and got booed. That's when they thought, okay, we're going to have him go backstage, redo the finish of the Royal Rumble match. Why they thought he was going to get cheered, in the first place? I have no fucking idea, because it's like, you could see on the Monday Night Raw before it had the Royal Rumble, he didn't get booed, but there was the fans when he hit the spears on Brock Lesnar. There wasn't an ovation, there wasn't excitement, there was a bit of, like that. There was nothing to really grasp on for Roman Reigns when he was hitting the spears on Brock Lesnar. It's not as if the crowd went insane for him. And then, like everyone knows, a pay-per-view crowd is hardcore fans who just, they're fucking on it with their knowledge of WWE. And when Roman Reigns was announced, I knew he was going to get booed. Roman Reigns is one of my favourite wrestlers. Not because, I'm not one of these fans who just, likes him because he's the future and all that. I think, the reason I like Roman Reigns is because I do think he's a good wrestler. He's got a lot better, and he can be amazing. And I would love Roman Reigns. A lot of me liking Roman Reigns, I think, wants, there's a part in me that wants him to be a heel. Or be a face, but it's a complete different type of face. Because obviously, I'm a Roman Reigns fan, as I've just said, but it's at times when you're watching him, even when I'm watching him do a promo in the ring, I'm not excited. It's sometimes boring, but the reason why he's been chosen as the number one guy for the future is because he can be so good. That's what's annoying, but WWE's booking is making it look terrible. So, yeah, it's one of those things where they're going to have to sort it out by WrestleMania, because if it's not a lot better by WrestleMania, you're going to have to turn him heel. And then in a year, 2 years' time, then potentially have him come back as a face when he's improved, and hopefully when WWE booking has improved, because some of their stuff at the minute is total shite. It's abysmal. So yeah, that's some of the latest rumours within WWE. One last thing is, WWE's been trying to get Goldberg for a while now to come back for WrestleMania, and they even had some talks backstage at the Royal Rumble with Batista, because he was there. I think the Batista one was in a non-wrestling type of match, and he basically declined. So I don't think Batista will be at WrestleMania. Goldberg, I'd be massively surprised. I don't think that'll happen. I still think WWE needs a bit of star power, a bit more star power for WrestleMania. They need to promote some tag teams from NXT, because their tag team division's awful right now outside of the New Day. So yeah, that's my rumours. I'll be back on Friday for more of this. WWE Off the Mic. That'll be episode number 2. So and obviously tomorrow I'll have my Raw review. So yeah, hope you guys watch that and check out the video for that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this new type video that I'll be doing, and see you guys soon. Bye.